Hey, welcome back to Devil Dog Fishing. Been a few weeks, so kind of catch you up on what's going on, where I'm at. Obviously I'm in the room. This is where absolutely positively no magic happens. So, anyways, been a while. Been trying to. I don't. Basically, this is a whole journal of the process to a certain point. I'm trying to figure out what point I want to get to, but I think I'm starting to figure that out. Um, Part of it is I don't want to do videos of, I don't want to do baits of the month. Everybody's got their baits of the month. I don't want to do technique, this, that. I mean, all that stuff is out there. Really, it's like I said, I'm not worried about views. I'm not worried about click, like, subscribe, comment, and all that other crap. I don't give a damn about all that. So just trying to figure out this whole fishing thing, and I've kind of learned a lot. So to kind of catch you up on where I've been I think the last video I did, I had gotten done with the ABA Open Series up on the Chesapeake on the Northeast River, and didn't do great, but because I participated and I did weigh in a fish, it put me back up to fourth. So last week, and what I've been trying to do is take the GoPro out, film, get some fish, and just kind of film me catching the fish and chopping it up and doing it and so forth. And man, just as you think you kind of got this thing going, man, it kicks you right in the nuts. So basically, it's been a couple weeks since, because that Open Series tournament was, okay, that was the 29th of July. So I didn't fish the Potomac. I fished the Potomac River the week before. Then we had that was up on the Chesapeake, or out of Anchor Bay Marina. So then I came back the next week, and what I wanted to do was, and I've got some on camera, but I ain't got much. That's the problem. Actually, I ain't got anything worth it, and every time I catch fish, camera's not on. But got back, and it'd been 2 weeks since I'd been on the Potomac, and everything changed. Everything was kind of late this year. Grass was late. You could use a lot of different baits, about a month longer than I could last year. So the first weekend I went out, I wasn't really concentrated on catching fish. I mean, obviously you want to catch fish, but like I said, every time I go out, my confidence with the boat, driving, not getting lost on the water, is getting greater and greater, and I'm getting a feel for the boat. So that day I decided there's a couple spots I want to try out. So one of them I hit, and man, I don't know, there was bait fish there. I mean, it was midday, but remember, August has been brutally hot, so it makes it really tough. But I went to the one spot, and bait fish all around. I could see them all around. They just weren't biting. And then out of that little cove, this is kind of like almost straight across. If you come out of Pohick Bay and you go straight across the river, it's kind of that little inlet that goes into a wildlife reserve or something. And so then my goal was to fish that, then come out of there, and then fish the bank about a mile down, because that bank, I went there in the spring, and I'm like, this is going to be nice once some grass comes in. And about a month and a half ago, like I think I was out there when they had the MLF tournament, and it was just a line of anglers right there, and I pull up and nobody's there, and I'm like, sweet. And I start fishing it, and I realize I can't fish it. The grass is just way overgrown. I mean, I can get the edges, which I didn't get any bites. Actually, I did. I'll come back to that. But even though the grass is about 6-7 inches in this portion, underneath the water. Um, it kind of comes in and out. So my trolling motor just isn't strong enough to get through the grass. It's old. Um, and I know a lot of people say, well, that's no, this thing's, I mean, it's an 18-year-old trolling motor. So that limits me to what I can do and what I can't do. Thus, when you buy a boat, probably one of the first things over graphs is really a trolling motor. I'd love to have some upgraded graphs. I'm not going to the 360 and all that. I'm going to keep them basic just because I've seen some guys navigate some waters through graphs, and man, those are spots I wanted to get, and I'm trying to get there, but I'm like banging up the bottom of my boat, and I'm like, nah. But so, and I tried a bunch of stuff. I tried the top water. I tried along the edge. I am not good at punching grass. I don't know how to punch grass. I don't know what grass is too thick to punch. But I mean, I put an ounce weight on it. It just stopped right on top. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work. So between those two spots, I spent a good probably 2-3 hours. I mean, I was trying to get with the grass. I was trying to force my way onto the edge. There were some gaps, get around, figure it out, and it just, man, my trolling motor and it just didn't work out. But then I went to but I did catch something. That's and yeah, what I caught was kind of crazy. So I decided I'm gonna Texas rig a worm, and so I'm sitting down. I'm in the boat in my seats, and I'm just rigging it up. And at that point, I was taking a break, grabbing something to eat, changing the lures. The GoPro, the battery went dead, so I was gonna change the battery, which I did change the battery. I just didn't start it up because I was eating. I wasn't doing anything. Rigged up the new bait, threw it out like 5 feet from the boat just because I had a whole bunch of line out, and I threw it out, and I watched that pole go whoom, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I got up, I literally hit the GoPro, I heard it beep, and I'm filming, and it's a good 6-7 pound catfish. Whatever, I turned the GoPro on, it beeped, but I didn't get the play on. So that one didn't come through. So I got nothing for that. So I decided, all right, let's go to Tried and True. Let's go over to Man or Woman, and let's hit the docks and at least catch something before I head in. I can't remember. There was a lot of traffic on the water that day, and it was pretty rough. So, like I said, it had been a couple weeks from when I had been out there in the heat, and so much grass grew back, got over into Man or Woman, and the back portion of the docks where I fish, for a good 15-20 feet out, it's now matted grass you can't get through. Now there were some gaps, and I was able to get into one, and I pulled one out of there, which was nice. But that was it. So that was it for that. That was like the week after. That was the first weekend of August. Last weekend I went back out, and it was. Actually, I went out twice. I think I went out on Saturday and on Monday, and both days still brutally hot. The grass is in, and again, the one day I didn't even have my GoPro on, and I hooked up on a huge. It had to be a 10, 12 pound catfish. That was on a drop shot. So, and then I nailed one, but. Really, the last couple weeks have been the most brutal fishing for me, at least. And the crazy, and August is kind of a month where there are some guys like, okay, I'm done. I'm done for the season. I'll be back in late September, October. They want the water to get back down. It's just too hot out there. They don't want to deal with it. The bite is slow, and I get it. It is slow, and it is a grind, and it can be scorching out there on the boat. But kind of what I realized is, I've always, through these videos, I talked about change and adapting to it, and how I went from a lot of power fishing to finesse fishing over the winter. And now I get out there, and I got that, and I'm doing well, but then I get out there for this grass, and I'm like, it's a whole new challenge. It's like I got to start all over. It's like probably, and I probably only got about 6 to 8 weeks to try to figure it out, or to at least get it, just to catch some fish. Now, tournaments. Here's the thing about the tournaments. So, for the ABA Open Series, there's a tournament on Saturday, and I had fully planned to fish it, especially because I'm in the. I said, going into the last tournament, I was like, I didn't know if I was going to fish or not, but I was like, if I'm top 5, I'm going to fish, and I'm top 5. Kayla leaves for school on Tuesday, and on Monday it started to hit me, and I'm like, man, the guilt came in, and I'm like, do I really want to be out there fishing when it's really the last day I can hang with my daughter before she goes to college? And look, I'm not an Elite Series guy. There's no money on the line, so for me it was an easy decision. So I don't know how it'll affect me for the end of the year standings, because we've got the championship, and that'll go in. Championship's a 2-day thing, and I'm not good with the second day, so we'll figure that out. So that's kind of what's going on, but it kind of wanted, I think this weekend, if I got paired up with somebody, even Keith, I've paired up with Keith. Keith is pretty good, and he fishes these things all the time. That's what I love about being a co-angler, is this is where you can learn if you pair it up with somebody good. And now it's luck of the draw, and it depends on what organization you're with. Now with the ABA, I've had some guys I'm really, really good, and I learned a lot from. There's some guys that they were no better than me, and it was just cool being with them and fishing. And then some guys I'm like, dude, I just let me in the front of the boat, you go back to the back, and let me take care of this. But that's, I shouldn't really even say that, because it's what it's about. I go out there for fun, but you know what I'm saying is, I could, as a co-angler, I could care less. But that's why I don't be a boater with the limited equipment I have and the power I have on my boat, which we're going to work on, and that'll be hopefully some of the things I do over maybe the winter. So the other thing is gassing up that boat. Holy cow, water gets $5 a gallon on the water. So, but what I really learned, and kind of where the video is like I said, it's that the Potomac title is always changing. You're dealing with the tide changing twice a day, which throws everything off. And then now you've got some grass where, you've got to really know the river a lot better than what I do, or got to have a trolling motor to where, and I'm not talking about getting into the deep of the grass and plowing through the whole, you just see mounds of grass, but like the edges where, and I just can't do that. So that's kind of where I've been at, where I'm going. I did get a short video out because the other day I did get a fish, and I actually got it on camera. I was like, holy cow. Kind of did my first, still amateur, still sucks, editing job, but got that up on YouTube. But that's kind of what I want to do, is I want to get more of the fishing on camera and kind of talking about what I'm doing rather than these things here, because I mean everybody's got a podcast, and to be quite frank, not much you can't find out on the internet, except for, like I said, you don't have many people kind of taking you through the journey of how to find tournaments, where to go for tournaments. I think next year, I think what I'll do later on is when I'll probably start talking about when they start releasing next year's, and that'll be a few months, but there's some other tournaments. There's a winter series down at Lake Anna, which I couldn't handle the cold last year. I don't know what it is. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I put some pounds on this year back from when I lost it, so maybe that insulation. But that's kind of where we're at. The championship is September 16th and 17th. There is a Potomac River Series battle. It's Maryland versus Virginia. I've gotten info on it, but I don't know if I'm eligible to fish that, because I only fished one with the Potomac River Series. Started watching the podcast, fishing the DMV. He seems like a good dude, but really what I'm trying to do is just try to get some more tournament trails, because I'll be honest with the ABA in this area, it looks like it's struggling. I'd like to see Cat come up here, but in a couple years I may be moving. What have I been using lately as baits? I'm still using the wacky rig. I've gone to a craw. I've used a craw. I've used a shaky head. I'm getting more into the shaky head. I'm actually getting out there and be like, okay, you can't use. I've been so reliant on the wacky. I'm like, you can't use the wacky rig today. This is what you're going to use. And that's kind of what I've been doing to fine tune some of the baits that I'm not used to using or particularly have ever used before. Is when I go out, sometimes one of the reasons why I'm not catching fish is because I'm using a bait that I've made a decision. I'm going to use this. I don't care if I catch anything. Don't care if it's the right bait today. But I want to get used to casting. I want to get used to the feel of it, the reaction. I want to see it from, because I've learned there's 2 years ago I could go out with 2 poles. The reason why I had 2 poles is so I could have 2 lures, and it didn't matter if one pole had a crankbait, spinner bait, chatter bait. It was all the same to me. But now it's gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, man, this doesn't work. This rod and combination doesn't work for a spinner bait. Doesn't work for a chatter bait. It's too not enough feel for finesse fishing. So and instead of kind of lining, so I've figured out what rods that I'm going to stick with, and I'm pretty much going to stick with one rod for all my finesse, because I like it, and it is what it is. The one rod I like for my bait casters, it looks like 2022. Well, shoot, we're almost over 23. It looks like they discontinued it, because I should have gotten it. It was a lose. It was it's like a $70, $90 pole or some rod. I think I got it on sale. I got it on sale for cheaper, but then they went on like half. Now they're like $30, but nobody has them unless I want to go to Maryland, an hour and a half away, and I'm not doing that for a discounted pole at $30. So now I got to find another crankbait rod. And me personally, I have, and I think I've talked about this on other videos, I really haven't found the gap between reels, the cost in reels from a $60, $70, $80 reel to $150, $200 reel. There's a gap in there. For rods, I haven't. There's a gap, but I haven't felt that huge of a gap. Um, but that could be me. That could be, I'm not, like I said, the best thing I think any angler says is that's just how I am, not right or wrong. But I've pretty much come to the conclusion. Um, for my finesse, I like my Dobbins Fury. I'm sure there's nicer rods out there, but like I said, part of this journey is I'm not gonna spend. I'm not going. Well, as I look over at the thousands of dollars of tackle that I bought because I would just used to go buy tackle because I was bored and liked shopping for tackle. Well, I was gonna say I'm not gonna spend the most money on my rods and reels, which uh, I think I found a sweet spot. I think I can find the Dobbins rods. I think are 120, 130. I think that's probably 150 is probably the most I'll spend on a rod and reel. But I think you can find them cheaper. My reels, I'm still gonna get a Daiwa Tatua spinning reel. I like Daiwa spinning reels. I want to compare that to. I've got the Shimano. Um, oh geez, which one do I have? I have the nice Shimano one, $250 one, and I really like it. It's really light, and that's really what I'm looking for now. Is because really between my and I've talked about this between my $100 Shimano Nasty and my Shimano I can't remember the 250. They almost cast the same reel, a little bit smoother with the other one, with the more expensive one, but it's the weight. That's the biggest difference is the weight. So I'm trying to get some fishing in on Sunday. We'll see how the guilt factor comes in on Sunday. I shouldn't feel too guilty because she's got to work and her mother, she's supposed to go out with her mother. Monday I don't have any appointments and I could probably get out on Monday, but that guilt factor. So Tuesday, no. But I think I will probably start getting out 2-3 days a week coming up here soon after work at least. There's some spots that I kind of want to home in on and kind of work on for next year, because next year I think we'll see what happens. But if work picks up this fall, busy season September, October, if it picks up like traditionally, then I'll put a trolling motor and some batteries on. And if I get a nice trolling motor, an upgraded trolling motor, and I get my lithium batteries to run them all day long, then I'll probably hydroplane and a four blade prop. Those are all what I need before next year. I do that, then I'll take the boat out and I'll be the cab, be the boater, and I'll take co-anglers out. I also think next year I'm looking at more of the Toyota series co-angler. That's going to be bigger money and bigger prestige. I think the end goal is to be a boater, take my boat, and fish a Bassmaster Open series. Just one. They're expensive. I think they're like $2,500, $3,000 to enter. That'll be my bucket list, but that's probably 2-3 years down the road. If my body holds up, we'll see what happens. But that's kind of where we're at. I haven't put anything out in a while because I've had it on, but I just couldn't get everything together. But next week, I'm hoping to take the GoPro out, put it on. I figured out some editing, see if we can catch some fish, get that on camera, do more of that rather than these kind of sit down updates of what I'm doing. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. Somebody wants me to chat about something else, I will. Also, did forget the flip side. It's a podcast with an old buddy of mine. We were in the hotel in the street. A couple Filipino guys, one over in the Philippines, and they just chat. But it was cool seeing him, but they had me on as a guest on their podcast. So I'm international now. That's right. International. All right. So I don't think they've released it yet, because when I was over there, Jason was telling me he was a couple episodes behind, editing and getting it out. And, man, editing's if I ever get rich, I'll hire somebody. No, I like the whole dumpy thing. But when that comes out, I'll share that on my Facebook page and probably my personal page. If there is something you guys want me to chat about, shoot me an email. You could try shooting a comment. I don't know if I'll get it. I don't know if I'll find it. I don't even know if I'll know I got notified. But if it's there, it's there, and I'll. But next time, I'm hoping to have more. I'm hoping to get more action footage as we go on, and we're gonna see what happens. And we got basically a whole month before championship weekend for ABA Open Series. The 26th, which is next weekend, I believe. ABA American Fishing Tour. They do have a tournament. I may do that for practice. We'll see. The only problem now is I got a sweet spot where my boat is, but it's just staying darker longer now in the morning, where before I could get out there, get on the water at 5:15, at 5:30, 5:45, it was light enough to drive across the river over Smallwood. But now it's staying dark till 6:20, and blast offs at 6:30. I'm not making it, so if I do that, I got to pick up my boat and then drive it all the way up to Maryland, and that'll kind of tick me off, because then I'll probably come fish exactly where I dock my boat. So then we got that. Cat. Lake Anna, Saturday, September 16th. And that one's going back to 3 p.m. So down at Lake Anna, the Cat, they, when it comes to June, they don't even, there's not, that Elite Series doesn't even have a tournament in July. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 tournaments, and then they have a classic on the September 30th, October 1st. But Saturday, September 16th, down at Lake Anna. I got to go down to Surgeon Creek and see if they have any more flyers for more. If you're southern, when I say southern, Quantico, Fredericksburg, Richmond. Lake Anna's not that far from y'all. I mean, it's an hour from me. I think it's probably, so they also have a Friday night series, which it looks like tonight. Damn. You know what? I could have done the night and not felt guilty about that. It's from 6 to 9, and it's 6 o'clock. So that one's out for tonight. They also got, and then it looks like the Friday night series, and the Friday night series is a 3 fish limit. But looks like they got one more on the 25th. Then you've got your Tuesday night throwdowns, and it looks like that's a 5 fish limit. And all these are out of Sturgeon Creek down at Lake Anna, and that's a 5 fish limit. They have one on the 22nd, one on the 29th. Again, that is down at Lake Anna. That's a Tuesday night 5 fish. Winter Series, Cat Winter Series. Starts in November. November 19th, November 26th, December 3rd, December 10th, December 17th, December 31st, New Year's Eve, huh? I wonder how that tournament would be. January 7th, January 14th, 21st, 28th. Those are from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Winter Series tournament. So, in a nutshell, will I do those? Maybe November 19th, and that might be it. I gotta get down to Lake Anna. One, I gotta learn the lake, but two, if I'm gonna fish the winter, I gotta learn some deep fishing because I fished it March, and yeah, I not But then again, that was my first time down there too. But man, I love lake. It's a beautiful lake. I know they like I said earlier. I think I said this is, it just gets so busy as their June and August tournaments. They go from 7 to noon. I've been on it because when the traffic gets bad and it's so many boats, so many wakes, it just mucks everything up. So those are this is my series that I follow for 2023. Next year, I think I'm going to add, move, and the biggest thing I think will be work. I didn't get to fish as many tournaments as I wanted to this year. The economy, things are slowing down. So I didn't have the money to fish as many tournaments as I wanted to. They're expensive. Gas, time, a lot of work, pain in the ass, getting up early, food for the day. Me, I'm an addict, so I'm always buying something for me and my equipment that day. But we'll see what happens. So there we are for now. I think that's good. We're at 32 minutes. I think that's good for catching up for now of what's going on the last 2.5, 3 weeks. I'm hoping to have more real footage up of being out there on the Potomac. God, I hope catching some fish. And we'll see how that goes. I also want to take a road trip down to I want to get back down to Lake Anna. But anyways, that's where we're at. That's where we're going. That's it. That's all, folks. So to everybody out there, Semper Fi, do or die. Do you have a dog?